Hey guys, so the trade of the week this week is Palantir, a recent IPO with a valuation of 16.7 billion. Obviously it varies tremendously day to day, but I want to talk a little bit about this stock really quick. Bit of a swing trade that I had taken on the position over the course of the week. My total cost basis on Palantir, and it is a very volatile name. You'll see it drop as low as $9 a share very frequently, but also shoot back over $10 at some point this week. It was around $11 a share. So I had accumulated the majority of my position in Palantir, around $9.28. This week I had liquidated a total of 2,000 shares. I unfortunately missed my first sell on the webcam. I've been doing that a lot lately. Of the 1,400 I had left, I sold another 1,000, around $10.14. So it was a pretty nice profit for me on that name. I'm still holding 400 shares of Palantir. I think it has the potential to go higher, but you know, I've been wrong before. Now, some of you traders might be asking, why Frugal Tiger? Why are you holding stocks? This makes no sense. Every time you hold stocks, you lose money. What I would respond to that is you're absolutely right. Every time I have held on to stocks, I've lost money. Every time I haven't done a day trade, I've lost money. But you know what? There's a part of me deep inside that's sick, that's degenerate, and likes to gamble. Just a small position on the line with Palantir. I'm relying heavily on Alex Karp and his beautiful hairpiece or hairdo, whatever he has on his head, to really make me some big bucks. In regards to Palantir as a company, it's pretty interesting because it took a long time for this company to IPO. I think they were originally founded, if you look at their SEC records, in 2003, the founder being Peter Thiel, who actually bankrolled Facebook's expansion as an angel investor. It's got pretty smart money behind it. It's an AI company that works a lot with the government. They actually have a lot of interesting research to track, you know, terrorism and things like that around the world using artificial intelligence. I sort of used to work in this industry, so I'm not sure how much of it is actually legit when it comes to AI and how much of it is complete bullshit when it comes to AI. But overall, it's you know, the whole tech industry as a whole is a great way to sell a dream and sell an illusion and potentially, you know, rack a very high valuation. And in that sense, Palantir is not super expensive right now. Once again, I'm not saying go out, buy the stock. I certainly don't have a lot of exposure to it. I just am gambling with a measly 400 shares, which I really don't care what happens with. The next trade I want to talk about is, okay, yeah, this microphone's on. Draftkings has been in a bearish kind of pattern lately. I thought it was going to have a bit of a bounce this week. I noticed that, you know, on Tuesday, it looked like it wanted to bounce. So I took a position on it for 500 shares because I wasn't that certain about my instinct. I've been wrong every time I've done a contrarian, meaning the market is clearly bearish on Draftkings. You can see the tape. You can take a look at the daily chart of Draftkings. And obviously, there's been a lot of selling pressure on the name. But it looked like it was going to rally on that Tuesday, potentially a strong buy on that Tuesday. And whenever you have a short covering rally, usually it's very strong and very aggressive. I was wrong on Draftkings. And unlike what I normally do, which is I hold it as a trade, I decided, you know what, I was up a little bit. I think the tape is gonna turn negative. I'm just gonna get out of it. So I got out of Draftkings. I made about $150, and I'm kind of glad because I'm just tired of holding names overnight for thinking it's a good value buy for the long term, despite the tape going against me. I just decided with Draftkings, I'll take the money and I'll run. And I plan on doing a lot more of that in the future. The next trade I want to talk about actually happened Friday night. And I was pretty lucky to actually have the webcam recording at this time because I've been really bad about recording. And somehow it was recording at 4 p.m. on a Friday night. But what was very interesting was I had picked up shares on SPY, which I constantly weave in and out of. I had purchased the shares around 324, and for the most part throughout the day, I was stuck money on that trade. Basically, what happened after hours was that trade went almost $250 in the money for me. A pretty large move after hours for such a small position. And once again, I just took the money and ran. If there's one thing that I feel like that has been happening through COVID is it's just a lot of trading at weird hours. There are times where I place trades at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., sometimes at 8 p.m. If I'm trading futures, even later at weird hours. Yeah, this was another case where like the trade went so far in my favor for how small of a size it was after hours that we have a lot of things that could negatively affect the market. When you see an opportunity to take a reasonable size profit, just take it and run. The last trade I want to talk about, and no video would be complete without me being candid with you of my complete and utter failures as a human being and as a trader and an investor, and just as a person in general. So I bought, I think 1,300 shares of Wells Fargo at a cost basis of 25 and change. And that has done nothing for me but just go down and down and down. Keep in mind, when I bought this piece of shit company, I bought it as an investment. I wasn't trying to buy it as a trade. The banking names in general, I didn't buy as a trade. I felt like because of the COVID, because of the pandemic, they were heavily undervalued names. They still had good businesses. People are still getting loans. People really need loans. There is a demand for banking services. And I felt like the banking sector as a whole was undervalued. But right now, all my analysis is out the door. And I'm stuck holding the bag on Wells Fargo. At the end of the day, it's a fairly small position for me. But it just sucks, I guess, in the sense to be constantly wrong. And in the future, the key thing, as I mentioned earlier in this video, that I want to change is trading so much because something looks cheap in valuation. I am only going to buy stocks when I see there is a strong demand in the market for that stock, where the tape is just pushing the stock higher and higher. And once again, I'm going to short or sell stocks that basically has no demand in the market and people are selling it, and the tape, the selling pressure is pushing the tape lower and lower. And I think buying and holding and doing analysis in this market is just completely out the door, because I would have never thought Apple would have hit its price. I would have never thought Facebook would hit its price, and I certainly never thought Wells Fargo, Bank of America, some of these banks would get as low as they did in this environment. Anyway, that's it for me. I will once again need to make a better effort in my recording of my trades. That's all I got.
I just want the money, 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 money.